Hi folks, this is all the fruit. And 4 to 5 years ago I made a video about this beautiful monster tree. There is an old cherry tree here in my city of Heidelberg, and we have quite a big elderberry shrub growing here. That was 4 years ago, and back then this big branch of the cherry tree had broken away quite freshly. And I was wondering how the elderberry is gonna survive. There is a very famous tree in Italy where a cherry, which is a bit bigger than this elderberry, is growing out of a mulberry. And also there is another similar, not quite famous tree. Where was it? In England or America? Some English-speaking country, where some beech, I think, some quite big beech was growing out of the hollow stem of an ancient oak. Yeah, and we have something like this here in Heidelberg. The Neuenheimer Feld nowadays is mostly a university, hospital, college, dormitory, and in this case tennis court area. Oh yeah, we have a lot of sports facilities here too. But behind this, the Hanschheimer Feld is still an old fruit and veg area. You can actually see a big cherry tree over there. Even in the Neuenheimer Feld there used to be a lot of old fruit trees which survived the first stages of the development of the university campus and hospitals or so on. Now they've become quite rare. This tree here is definitely a lot older than the tennis courts behind it, and when the old fruit orchards here were demolished for the tennis courts, this one survived. It became hollow, and a small elderberry grew at about 2 meters height in this tree. This is not uncommon. Elderberries seem to be quite drought resistant, so they are among the most common epiphytic trees here in Germany. Yes, we have epiphytes here in Germany. We have algae and lichen and moss species which are exclusively or predominantly epiphytic. With shrubs and trees we have some. Basically everything can become an epiphyte, but we have a couple which are quite common, like elderberries, but usually those are not thicker than my finger. This elderberry in itself must be a couple decades old. The cherry tree could be close to 80-90 years. It is not the size of the biggest cherry trees around here. We have some cherry trees which are more than a meter thick. This one is probably 55-60 centimeters thick. You can see those 3 round holes here are the traces of some beetle, probably the stag beetle. Yeah, the unusual thing about this little epiphyte is that it managed to get so far down through the hollow stem of the cherry, using the decaying wood as fertilizer, that it actually reached the ground. And after a couple decades, one of the 4 main branches of the cherry tree broke away, and I think the elderberry had something to do with it, because as you can see, it's growing quite massively. And then the last 6 years or so, where most of them were very dry, so I actually didn't think that this elderberry would survive. Around here, since I'm involved in the management of the area, we had so many dead trees, and so many are still dying and will die this year. I thought this epiphyte will not make it, but it did make it through all those trees, and it seems to be doing quite well. I think it's exerting quite a lot of pressure on the cherry tree, and I think this cherry tree will break apart even more. I mean, it's well past its intended age. All the 4 main stems or main branches have been cut away years ago. One of them broke away, and it has been lying here for 4 years or more, 4 to 5 years at least. The people who are cutting the grass never put it away. So I think this little miracle, which nobody except for me seems to be noticing, there should actually be some tableau there for explanation that this is actually quite a rare occurrence, such a big epiphytic shrub. I mean, it's well over 4 meters tall and it's flowering like crazy. Everything is quite small about this shrub. The leaves are very small for an elderberry shrub. The inflorescences are very small, and I'm sure the berries will also be on the small side. But it's still managing to produce thousands of leaves and hundreds of inflorescences with many thousands of flowers. I think we will not have this thing here forever. I actually didn't even expect it to last 4 more years. But yeah, the elderberry is exerting a lot of pressure. I think the cherry tree will break apart even more soon. And then this little miracle of our city will disappear. Very sad, but yeah, that's nature. I wonder if a couple thousand years ago, if some Stone Age or Bronze Age or Iron Age people have found this, if they would have started praying to this tree. They still knew how to worship nature, unlike us. Folks, tell me if you have such trees in your area, where one tree or big shrub is growing out of another tree. Maybe I'll even come and visit your area if this is interesting enough. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos. Yes, as you can see, the cherry is hanging full of fruits, and the elderberry will also have tons of fruits soon. So they are both fruit trees. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich city of Heidelberg, which for 100 years was famous for its cherry exports. And if you want to see more such content, YouTube kind of stopped recommending my videos, so it's not enough to subscribe to my channel, but you should rather press the little bell icon to be notified of all new uploads.